Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are having a great day. Pre-market, Palantir actually hit a new 52-week high of $18. As soon as the market came in, Palantir price absolutely sank like the rest of the market, and all of a sudden the market just wants to go up, and Palantir is currently trading 2.5% up, around $17.85. If anybody is following me on the channel membership and are doing the covered call strategy with me, congratulations, we are making money from both ends. Today, Palantir announced a brand new partnership or a brand new program start, so to speak. Palantir, if you remember, made an announcement that they're going to be doing something called Fed Start, which is piggybacking off of their Fed Ramp. FedRAMP is essentially if you are a company dealing with the DoD, the military, you need to go through a lot of fucking scrutiny. And by a lot, I mean many years, millions of dollars, entire teams dedicated to schmoozing and kissing ass to get accredited, sponsored, and then have a FedRAMP to actually deal with the DoD. There's also levels to this shit with the type of clearance that you have. There's IL 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Palantir has level 6, so does AWS, so does Microsoft, and all levels beneath that, obviously. So they had some program that they're now calling Fed Start. And Fed Start allows you as a startup, a brand new company dealing with DoD and military, to be able to piggyback on Palantir's accreditation and start working with the US government ASAP. And for that, Palantir works as a consultancy firm and as an auditing firm. But this allows you a straight path to actually work with the DoD and the military. This is particularly important if you are a startup with venture capitalist injection, which means I invest in your company. I don't want to wait 4 or 5 years if you ever at all get accreditation to work with the US government. I want returns now. And this is very, very important. So this is a program that Palantir started, and today was the announcement of the very first person that was on-ramped to FedGo to be able to use the Fed Start program. Before I go any further, besides for giving you this article, I am going to play a very cool 6-minute clip from TD Ameritrade analyzing Palantir. So definitely stick around, don't go anywhere. But the importance of FedGo is quite simple. Palantir is becoming a specialist at being able to extract as much value as possible with the existing assets that they have. For example, Fed Start is nothing more than utilizing all of the connections and things that Palantir already has. Palantir AIP is nothing more than taking Palantir Foundry, Palantir Gotham, and all the other Palantir sub-software or sub-platforms, putting them all together and calling it AIP. They already had the technology, or let's say 90% of it. They just rearranged it and rewrapped it. I used an analogy before. It's like going to Subway and they come out, or any other fast food restaurant, and they come out with a brand new sandwich. Did you ever notice that the brand new sandwich is the same shit? Throw some French fries, throw some mozzarella cheese, throw some mozzarella sticks, throw some onion rings, and all of a sudden you have a barbecue sandwich. But the ingredients are all the same. The assets are all the same. It doesn't cost the chain any extra money. Essentially, this is what Palantir is doing. They're able to extract maximum value from existing assets, which means their profit margins are freaking huge. Besides for providing SaaS, which is software as a service, they are also providing a very, very, very vital role in a consultancy company. No, they're not just a consultancy company, but this is just another umbrella, another aspect, another avenue, another ability to increase profitability. And that's the name of the game, guys. The last 2 quarters, we got GAAP profitability. We need 2 more quarters of GAAP profitability to be announced in the S&P 500, God willing, at the end of this year, and then actually be put into the S&P 500 next year. And that's a very, very huge thing for us. And I'll go into that in a different video. I just want to show you this partnership, and then I want to play you this clip from TD Ameritrade about Palantir. Guys, we're really moving and grooving, and it's just important that we hit it in Q2 earnings, which I'll be doing live on Amit's channel. and that we actually grow into the shoes, but most importantly, forward projections. That's what we want. We want to see what is going to be happening in quarter 3 and quarter 4 if we're signing up companies for AIP, if we're signing up companies for this new venture of FedStart, FedGo, whatever, so on and so forth. This was announced earlier today. Bloodhound Enterprise from Spectre Ops available to government agencies through Palantir FedStart offering. Through this partnership, Palantir FedStart, a SaaS offering that helps accelerated federal go-to-market by enabling companies to run their products within Palantir's secure and accredited environment. We will facilitate Spectre Ops to deliver its enterprise-grade defensive solutions to government agencies. By leveraging Palantir's experience working with the government and expertise managing secure cloud software, FedStart supports companies to be FedRAMP and Impact Level 5 compliant very quickly, and can enable accreditation in weeks at a fraction of the cost of traditional paths. And I quote, "Until Bloodhound Enterprise, there hasn't been any practical defensive tool to secure A&D, Azure AD, much less anyone that meets the regulatory requirements for government agencies," said David McGuire, CEO of Spectre Ops. "Our partnership with Palantir will allow BHE to comply with FedRAMP, giving government agencies a tool to protect their Active Directory environments from identity attack paths." I'm going to read you 2 more statements, and then I'm going to talk to you why this is very important. And I quote, "We created Palantir FedStart with the goal of enabling companies to reduce friction and deliver solutions to the government at the speed of innovation. Spectre Ops Bloodhound Enterprise is one of those companies at the cutting edge of attack path management whose solution should be in the hands of the government without delay. We look forward to helping them achieve accreditation and deploying their leading edge in defensive of critical government systems." And then they said that earlier this year, Spectre Ops announced they raised $33.5 million in funding to accelerate their growth. The whole point of this is several-fold. Some people said, "Oh, isn't Palantir shooting themselves in their own foot because, they're helping the competition?" Not at all. They're making partnerships, they're making alliances, and they're opening up doors for future revenue and future growth. These companies that they're hooking up in the future have a much better chance of using Palantir products, which is where the real money maker is. Palantir is going to hold their hand. Palantir went through absolute shit for a decade to start working with our military, and now they're essentially becoming a household name. One thing that Palantir also said, besides for what's good for Palantir, is, hey, there's a lot of fantastic American companies that can help the government, and this is what's needed in today's day and age as we're competing with China, Russia, so on and so forth, our adversary, our ops, that we want to help these companies actually get into the hands of the government because it's a very difficult, time-consuming procedure. In the long run, maybe it will be cheaper for Spectre Ops, to apply for this themselves, but it would take a lot of money, a lot longer, and a lot of manpower and resources. They might be paying a much smaller fee to Palantir over a long period of time that might actually add up more than they would have paid themselves. However, it's a nominal fee that they're not going to feel, which I don't know. I wish I knew what the number is. And they don't have to direct or deflect resources into doing this. They can worry about actually building what they need to build. It's almost like Unity software, where Unity says, hey, build your game, build your platform, and we'll worry about all the background noise. This is very, very important. As I mentioned before, great for the bottom line, shit ton of profitability, doesn't cost Palantir almost anything, builds future partnerships and future availability to cross-sell products. It's a win-win situation. Guys, I'm going to play you a clip from TD Ameritrade. They were comparing Palantir at times to meme-like situation, okay, blah, 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 yada, yada. But they said, unlike all the other meme stocks, Palantir doesn't have too many short sellers against them. They tried, but it's not happening. And they said the main underlying reason is the artificial intelligence platform of Palantir, the AI capabilities of Palantir. I'm going to play you this clip, but before I go, if you guys want to support the channel, a lot of you guys are making a lot of money on Palantir and some other picks. Of course, none of this financial advice, purely entertainment and education. But if you are making money and you are enjoying this channel and you want to support my channel, I have a link to my channel membership down below. It's $3 a month and you buy me a cup of coffee. Also, with channel membership, I give you all my options plays. A lot of my options plays are based on Jesse Dow's plays. His link is down below if you guys don't know who he is. He's been absolutely destroying it with options plays. Not that you should follow me or him. This is just entertainment. But a lot of people have been asking me about the technical analysis of Jesse. I am learning it. By no means am I him. By no means am I an expert. I am learning it. But I am breaking down technical analysis only for my channel members. And I make crypto-related videos for my channel members as well. So I'm giving you guys a lot of value for $3 a month. And I upload, several videos a month at least. Half a dozen videos I'm going to end up uploading every single month. So you guys are getting a lot of value. A lot of people are making a lot of money in the form of entertainment and education, of course, because I'm not a financial advisor. Please, if you want to support the channel, it's $3 a month. I would really appreciate it because it feels good and it buys me a cup of coffee. With that said, I'm going to play you this clip right now from TD Ameritrade. I hope you enjoy it and really listen to what they said about, differentiating us and comparing Palantir to the meme-like stock. So Palantir has that meme-like army, meme-like culture, but Palantir actually delivers. It doesn't just talk the talk, it walks the walk. And its bark is not louder than its bite. You understand what I mean? Thank you. Enjoy the rest of this clip.
Welcome back to Next Gen Investing. It's time for Under 30 as we take a look at Palantir. And wow, Jenny, I got to admit, I haven't had my eye on this one as much the last few weeks. I knew it had made a really impressive run in recent months. We had talked about it a few times. I looked down, it's $17.43, basically on its year-to-date highs. And this stock started around $6 at some points this year. I mean, it's impressive.
It is impressive. New 52-week highs in today's session, continuing to rip higher, up over 6%. So here to tell us what's now driving this move higher, I'd like to welcome in Jeff Pierce, Senior Manager of Derivatives Trading for TD Ameritrade. So Jeff, walk us through this move, not only today, but also over the course of this year, because like Alex said, this name has been on a nice run.
That's right. Well, we're seeing the almost 7% move today as MoveZero raises the firm's price target from $8 up to $14, kept the neutral rating on the shares. The analyst said while software companies have remained challenged by macroeconomic pressures and uncertainty, investor sentiment has decidedly improved in the recent months, with generative AI excitement providing a significant lift. The firm says Q2 checks have had puts and takes, but overall they're reflective of an even more stability than what we saw in the prior quarter. He did keep a neutral rating on the shares and noted the doubling of the stock price since their last earnings report. And this has really been the story for Palantir. Analysts have applauded their position in AI, but they have been concerned over their valuation, what the next catalyst is to send the shares higher. The stock has really followed the ups and downs that we've seen the other names in AI have. With AI optimism very high, but interest rates and inflation pressures continuing to wear on all of them. We saw them host their first ever AI platform conference at the start of June. The CEO reiterated that the company's seen unprecedented demand for their AI products. To put it into perspective, he said Palantir had received as many calls in 1 month as they had previously received in a year. And we just saw them report their second consecutive quarter of positive net income. In Q4 of 2022, they came in at about $31 million. In Q1 of 2023, came in at about $17 million in net income.
When you're looking at this one, Jeff, obviously the ties to the U.S. government are helpful, given that that check is typically blank and it can last for a long time if you have a good relationship with the government, of course. But the growth opportunities are going to need to kind of go beyond that. They're going to have to get key partnerships with other companies when it comes to data analytics and the AI stuff that they're working on. But this has been almost like a meme stock at times as well. It's sort of got that same sort of cultural following where there is a lot of optimism on this name. It does seem to be somewhat polarizing. There's not believers, and then there's the believers when it comes to it. But you can't escape from the really tremendous year-to-date performance, basically going 3x, but so many names are seemingly doing that right now. Names the size of Meta and NVIDIA have basically done the same. So when you're looking at this one, Jeff, you never want to say is now different, but this would be alarming in other times, but they're not alone with this much excitement to the upside. Is potentially still an exciting time for this space despite these incredible moves.
Yeah, and I think that's what investors are looking at is reality versus expectations, right? If you look at the Q1 report, I mean, you mentioned the government contracts. That makes up around 50 to 60% of their revenue, up 20% year over year in Q1. We saw commercial up double digits. We saw U.S. revenue up double digits. We saw their total customer count increase 41% year over year, 50% in the U.S. And they had a good outlook as well, raising their full year expectations to 2.185 to 2.235 billion. The question for a lot of investors out there is what is already built into the stock? We know AI has got a big push. We've seen these names push through a lot of these headwinds, including the inflation pressures. But the big question is if we've got this Q2 earnings report, which is coming up early next month, and you've got so much expectation built in the stock, is this one of those scenarios where we could see some possible profit taking if they miss just slightly in one area?
Yeah, and I think that's a major concern for so many of these names. I mean, C3 AI is another one that comes to mind that has had a run this year. So then what do their earnings look like going forward? Because we'll be able to meet these really high expectations. But as far as Palantir goes, Alex mentioned this is almost has like meme stock potential, but I was shocked to see its percent of its shares that are sold short is only like 7%, which is well below like AMC, GameStop, Carvana has like 62%. So this name, well, we do see this really resurgence in interest in Palantir. I mean, it's not seeing the same amount of short selling as the other meme stocks.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a big part of it is the AI aspect. I mean, this name has really been kind of set for this AI atmosphere before ChatGPT and other names really started to push forward. And that's really given some legitimacy to the name for a lot of investors out there. That's why we have seen some of this kind of meme stock push behind it. But there's also been, your standard investors that are really looking at the facts here. And you talked about new deals. They're continuing to see them. Last week, we saw them expand their partnership with Carahsoft Technology. They're going to distribute for Palantir, which will make their Apollo platform more available to the public sector. Yes, about 60% of their revenue comes from federal government, used mostly by those defense applications. But that has been something that, we've seen from the company for a long time. Their AI side of the platform could push over into their government revenue as well. And I think the expectations are high. And so it's not just that meme stock craze. We are seeing investors look at this as more of kind of a long-term name with a big runway for AI.
Yeah, and perhaps seeing some signs of maturity in Palantir. And I do recall from discussing this name all year long, we've gotten major fundamental and guidance updates that have propelled shares higher. It hasn't just been all on hype, like you said. So important to differentiate this name from the meme stock nature in which I think a lot of times it was associated with, at least in former years. But we will leave it there. Appreciate the breakdown on Palantir. Jeff Pierce, Senior Manager of Derivatives Trading at TD Ameritrade.